The car screeched to a sudden halt, kicking up dust as it stopped in front of a crumbling house. Amara's hand tightened around the door handle. "Daniel, what is this place?" Daniel Okafor didn't answer immediately. He stared straight ahead, his jaw clenched, his fingers gripping the steering wheel like he was holding onto the last piece of something fragile. "I told you already," he finally said, his voice low. "This is all I have left." Amara slowly turned her head to look at him, confusion clouding her face. "You mean this is where we're staying?" Daniel nodded. She opened the door, stepping out carefully. The ground was uneven, dry, and cracked. The house in front of her looked like it had been abandoned for years. Faded paint, broken windows, a door hanging slightly off its hinges. She let out a small, disbelieving laugh. "Daniel, this isn't funny." "I'm not joking," he replied, stepping out of the car. The trunk clicked open. He pulled out 2 small bags, nothing like the expensive luggage she was used to seeing him carry. Amara's heart began to race. "Wait, so everything you told me, the company, the houses, the money, gone?" Daniel cut in. "All of it." Silence fell between them. A goat bleated somewhere in the distance. A group of children stood far off, watching them with curious eyes. Amara swallowed hard. "Ow, bad investments. People I trusted," he said flatly. "It doesn't matter anymore." She stared at him, searching his face for any sign that this was a lie. But his expression was unreadable. "You didn't even tell me," she whispered. "I didn't know how." Amara looked back at the house. Her chest tightened. This is a lot, Daniel. "I know. You expect me to just adjust to this overnight." He finally looked at her, his eyes sharp. "I'm not expecting anything. If you want to leave, you can." The words hit harder than she expected. "Leave," she echoed. "Yes. I won't stop you." Her lips parted, but no words came out. She turned away, wrapping her arms around herself. For a moment, it felt like the world had shifted beneath her feet. Then she exhaled slowly. "I'm not leaving," she said. Daniel blinked, surprised. "Amara." "I said I'm not leaving," she repeated, more firmly this time. "You lost everything. So what? Does that mean I should disappear too?" "It's not that simple." "It is to me." She picked up one of the bags from the ground and walked toward the house. Daniel stood there, watching her, something unreadable flickering in his eyes. Inside, the air smelled stale. Dust covered almost every surface. A broken chair sat in one corner, and a thin mattress lay on the floor. Amara coughed lightly. "Wow, this place really needs help." Daniel leaned against the doorway. "You don't have to do this." She turned to him, placing her hands on her hips. "Do what? Clean? Survive? Stay with the man I love?" He flinched slightly at her last words. "You're making it sound easy," he said. "It's not easy," she replied quietly. "But I'm here. That's what matters." Daniel looked away. Later that evening, as the sun dipped low, Amara tied her hair back and began sweeping the floor with a worn-out broom she found behind the house. Daniel sat outside, watching her through a small hidden camera feed on his phone. His expression was cold, calculating. "Let's see how long you last," he muttered under his breath. The next morning, Amara woke up before sunrise. She stepped outside, stretching slightly, then looked around the quiet village. An elderly woman walked past, carrying a basket on her head. "Good morning," Amara greeted with a small smile. The woman paused, surprised, then nodded. "Morning." Amara hesitated before asking, "Is there a place to get water?" The woman pointed down the road. "The well. It's a bit far." "Thank you." Minutes later, Amara struggled back with a bucket of water, her arms trembling. Daniel watched everything. Every struggle. Every small effort. Days passed. Amara cleaned the house bit by bit. She patched broken areas with whatever materials she could find. She cooked simple meals over a small fire. One afternoon, Daniel's phone buzzed as he watched the live feed. Amara sat on the floor, counting a few crumpled notes in her hand. "This won't even last the week," she whispered to herself. She leaned back against the wall, closing her eyes. "I didn't sign up for this," she said softly, her voice breaking. Daniel leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "Finally," he murmured. But then Amara wiped her tears quickly and sat up. "No," she said, shaking her head. "You're not giving up." She stood up, determination replacing the sadness in her eyes. Daniel frowned. The next scene surprised him even more. Amara approached a small group of women in the village. "Please, can I help with anything?" she asked. Cleaning, cooking, anything at all. One of the women looked at her skeptically. You? Work? Amara nodded. Yes. Hours later, she returned with a small bag of food. Daniel's grip tightened on his phone. She's adapting, he muttered. That night, Amara cooked a simple meal. She handed Daniel a plate. Here. He hesitated before taking it. You didn't have to. I know, she replied. But I wanted to. They ate in silence for a while. Then Amara spoke again. We'll figure this out. Daniel looked at her. Why are you doing this? She frowned. What do you mean? Why stay? Why struggle like this? Amara allowed a soft sigh. Because I care about you, Daniel. Not your money. Not your status. You. He held her gaze, searching for cracks. But he found none. Still, doubt lingered. Days turned into weeks. Amara became part of the village. She helped children with basic lessons, shared food when she could, and even started making small handmade items to sell. But Daniel saw everything else too. The nights she cried quietly when she thought he was asleep. The moments she stared at her hands, exhausted. The times she whispered, God, please help me, under her breath. One night, Daniel watched as she sat outside under the dim light of the moon. I miss my old life, she admitted softly. But I don't regret staying. Daniel's chest tightened unexpectedly. He looked away from the screen. For the first time, something felt wrong. This is just an act, he told himself. It has to be. But deep down, doubt had begun to creep in, and he wasn't prepared for what would happen next.
Like and subscribe to our channel. Someone needs to hear this.
The next morning arrived quietly, but something in the air felt different. Amara stepped outside with a small bowl in her hands, handing food to a little boy who stood shyly by the doorway. Here you go, she said gently. Make sure you share with your sister, okay? The boy nodded quickly. Thank you, Auntie. As he ran off, an older man sitting under a tree nearby watched her closely. His eyes narrowed slightly as Daniel stepped out of the house. The man stood up slowly, leaning on his walking stick. You, he called out. Daniel paused. Amara turned. Good morning, sir. But the man ignored her. His gaze remained fixed on Daniel. I know you, he said. Daniel's expression hardened. I don't think so. The old man took a step closer. You think I would forget, he scoffed. You used to come here as a boy with your mother. Amara blinked, confused. Daniel, stop talking. Daniel snapped under his breath. But it was already too late. The old man shook his head. So now you come back pretending? Acting like you're one of us again? Amara's heart began to pound. Pretending? Daniel stepped forward. That's enough. No, the old man replied firmly. It's not enough. This girl deserves to know who you really are. Amara turned to Daniel slowly. What is he talking about? Daniel didn't answer. Her voice trembled. Daniel, what is he talking about? The silence was louder than any confession. Her eyes widened as realization began to settle in. No, don't tell me. Amara, listen. You lied to me? She cut in sharply. It's not what you think. Then explain it, she demanded, her voice rising. Daniel ran a hand through his hair, frustration creeping in. I didn't lose everything. The words hit her like a slap. Amara staggered back slightly. So all of this house, this suffering. It was a test, he said. The moment the words left his mouth, he knew there was no taking them back. A test, she repeated, her voice barely above a whisper. Yes, I needed to know if you were different, if you truly cared about me. Amara stared at him, disbelief flooding her face. You needed to know, she said slowly. So you decided to lie to me? To bring me here, to watch me struggle? Daniel hesitated. I have my reasons. Your reasons? She let out a hollow laugh. Do you even hear yourself right now? I've been hurt before, Amara. And that gives you the right to hurt me, she shot back. Daniel stepped closer. I didn't mean to hurt you. But you did, she cried. Every single day I was here, thinking we had nothing, thinking we were in this together. You were watching me? He didn't deny it. That was all the answer she needed. Tears filled her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. Wow, she whispered. I gave you everything I had. My time, my energy, my heart. Amara. No, she raised her hand, stopping him. Don't say my name like you care. Daniel's chest tightened. I do care. No, you don't, she said firmly. Because if you did, you would have trusted me. The words cut deeper than anything he had heard before. I stayed when I thought you had nothing, she continued, her voice breaking now. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to, because I loved you. Daniel's eyes softened. I know that now, but it's too late, she replied. Silence fell between them again. The villagers nearby watched quietly, sensing the weight of the moment. Amara took a step back. I could have handled poverty, she said softly. I could have handled hardship, but I can't handle lies. Daniel felt something inside him crack. Please, he said, his voice low, don't walk away. She shook her head slowly. You already walked away the moment you decided to test me. He reached for her hand. She pulled away immediately. Don't, she said. That one word carried more pain than anything else. Amara picked up her small bag from inside the house. Daniel followed her. Where are you going? She didn't look at him. Anywhere but here. You can't just leave like this. Watch me. Amara, please. She turned to him one last time. I loved you, Daniel, she said, but I won't beg for respect. And with that, she walked away. Daniel stood there, frozen. For the first time in his life, he had no control over what was happening. Days passed. The house felt emptier than ever. Daniel sat alone, staring at the same walls Amara had cleaned, the same space she had filled with life. But now it felt lifeless again. He replayed everything in his mind. Her laughter, her kindness, her tears, her words. I could accept poverty, but not lies. He buried his face in his hands. What have I done? He whispered. For the first time, there are no cameras, no plans, no tests, just regret. Weeks later, Daniel made a decision. He stepped away from his empire. Business calls went unanswered. Meetings were canceled. People questioned him, but he didn't care. He returned to the village, not as a man running a test, but as a man trying to understand himself. He fixed what was broken, not just the house, but the lives around him. He helped rebuild homes. He supported families. He listened, really listened, and slowly, something began to change inside him. Months passed. One afternoon, as the sun hung low in the sky, Daniel stood near the same road where everything had begun. Then he saw her, Amara. She stood still when she noticed him. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then she walked closer. Daniel's heart pounded. Hi, he said quietly. Amara nodded slightly. There was no anger in her eyes this time, but there was caution. You look different, she said. I am, he replied. She studied him for a moment. What are you doing here? Trying to be better, he said honestly. Amara crossed her arms slightly. For who? For myself, he answered. Not for you. Not for anyone else. She held his gaze, searching for the truth. And is it working? She asked. I don't know, he admitted, but I'm trying. Silence lingered. The wind blew softly between them. Daniel took a small step forward. I'm not here to ask you for anything. Amara raised an eyebrow. No. He shook his head. You were right. I didn't trust you, and I lost you because of it. Her expression softened slightly. I just wanted you to know. I understand that now. Amara looked away briefly, then back at him. That doesn't fix what happened, she said. I know, Daniel replied. Another pause. Then Amara spoke again, her voice quieter this time. People don't just change overnight, Daniel. I didn't, he said. It took losing you to even start. Her eyes flickered with emotion. And now, she asked. Now, I'm learning what it means to love without control. Amara exhaled slowly. For the first time, there was no tension between them, just honesty. Maybe that's a good place to start, she said. Daniel gave a small nod. Neither of them rushed. Neither of them forced anything. They simply stood there, two people who had been broken and were learning how to rebuild. This time, there was no test, no lies, no pretending, just the possibility of something real. And maybe that was enough. The sun dipped low as the car slowed to a gentle stop in front of a grand, modern mansion. Amara stepped out slowly, her eyes lifting as she took in the tall gates, the polished glass, the quiet elegance of everything around her. For a moment, she said nothing. Daniel walked around the car, stopping a few steps behind her, giving her space. I know this doesn't fix everything, he said quietly. And I'm not trying to replace what I broke. Amara turned to look at him. Her expression was calm now. No anger, no tension, just something softer, something real. You already started fixing it, she said. Not with this, but with who you became. Daniel exhaled slowly, the weight in his chest easing. She glanced back at the house, then back at him. This time, she added gently, no tests, A small, genuine smile touched Daniel's lips. No tests. He stepped closer, carefully, as if still asking for permission without words. Amara didn't step away. Instead, she reached for his hand, and this time she held on. Together, they walked toward the house, not as who they used to be, but as two people who had learned the hard way what love truly meant. And finally, they were ready to start again.
Like and subscribe to our channel. Someone needs to hear this.